3, 2, 1.
Oh, I wanted to do that.
Do it. Go ahead. Do it.
3, 2, 1.
Nice. Oh my god. Are you ready?
Yeah. So ready.
Tanya.
Yes.
Hi, baby.
Sweetie pie.
Hey, you don't have to comment. Be professional.
Oh, sorry.
Be professional. So
Why?
it's like why?
Yeah.
No, we don't have to be professional
Okay.
at all.
Okay,
You should
good.
chuck some shit my way. It'd be fun.
You can't swear.
What? It's been more than 10 seconds.
Okay.
So we're doing like an emergency podcast
Ooh, okay.
because I was watching Tim Pool and he got swatted, and I had never heard that term before, but you did. You have.
Yeah.
Because you are in policing.
No.
No?
No.
Well-
I'm in emergency communications.
Oh, emergency communications.
So
You-
we are support for police agencies.
Oh,
But
okay.
I wouldn't say that I'm in policing.
No?
That- I think that
emergency services?
I think that would be a lie.
That would be, yeah, because you're
Yeah.
not on the street,
No.
dealing with bad guys and
That's
all
right.
that stuff. Okay. So you're in emergency services.
Yeah.
And what do you do exactly? You want a little whiskey?
No.
Okay. And what do you do exactly for emergency services?
So the company that I work for answers 99% of the 911 calls in BC,
In the whole province?
in the whole province.
Oh, okay.
So
But you're not responsible for the whole province. Your
not
section.
the building that I work
Yeah.
in is not. No.
Yeah.
The company I work for handles 99% of the 911 calls that come into BC.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, there's one person that says 911 emergency. Do you need police, fire, ambulance? And then that call then gets downstreamed to either police, fire, ambulance. Ambulance, they do their own dispatch. And then our company does dispatch for a lot of the fire agencies and most of the police departments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So on Vancouver Island, everything south of Nanaimo.
Okay. So normally
You're
when
bored.
Oh, yeah. I was like,
You stopped listening
looking at, is this
already.
podcast over? Like, this is exciting. So in the first 2 minutes and 40 seconds, we've lost 99% of our audience. Good work.
Oh, no.
Good work, T-Money.
There's one person left.
There's one, but yeah, 99. No, there was never 100 to begin with. But
Okay.
anyway. So the reason well, there isn't. I mean, it's not you, it's me. I got 3 listeners. So so swatting. The reason we're like doing this is because of swatting
Yes.
came up, right? So apparently this has happened right here in our own town.
Yeah.
Oh, what I was going to say is normally I do like a background and like we talk about the person's life. This is
Yeah.
a different type of
Yeah.
podcast. We're talking about a subject right now.
Okay.
We're talking a topic.
Okay,
And
let's
we can,
start over.
we can do, we're not starting. Yeah. No, this is good stuff. So normally like I'm doing like where we'll talk about you growing up, schooling, job, all that. We're not doing that. We're not interested in you right now. Just interested in what you do.
Okay.
So to go back to this swatting thing, tell me what that is and what happened to this Tim Pool guy. Now, Tim Pool's in the United States. We're in Canada. So laws are a little different. So not everything will be relevant to our U.S. listeners. They might go, hey, wait, that doesn't make sense. Well, it makes sense for us in Canada. We do have our own separate laws and government and all that, even though, most people think we're part of the U.S., but not exactly.
Okay, so I don't know what happened to Tim Pool.
Okay.
But,
Well, I could tell you what happened.
okay.
Let me tell you what happened.
Okay.
So our listeners that don't know, well, no. Okay, so
tell me.
I was watching his live feed. Now, I don't know if I was watching his live feed live or if it was like the next day because it happened today, which is the 11th. But I think this happened to Tim Pool on either the 9th or the 10th. So anyway,
Okay.
I'm
So
watching
recently.
it. Yeah, recently in the last couple of days. So I'm watching it, and it was kind of weird because they were live casting, I guess it's called. So their chat was going live directly onto the internet, where it wasn't recorded like this one and then uploaded the next day. So he's got a producer there, and all of a sudden Tim's like, what's happening? And she goes, we got swatted. And I'm like, what the hell does swatted mean? I thought it was someone like hacking into their system or somehow shutting them down so that they weren't able to broadcast anymore. But he's like, really? And she's like, yeah. And so all of a sudden you can hear like commotion kind of in the background, and he gets up and leaves. Like it'd be like me walking out the door right now. And the police are in his house, which is like a building. It's like an office building. And
So did you see them on the live stream? This is what he said afterwards.
This is what he said.
Okay.
You didn't actually see them. He wished that they had switched cameras quickly so that they could have seen them, so that they were recording them as well.
Right.
They didn't get recorded. But apparently people in the podcast room, which is quite a large room, could see them like walking somehow, somewhere. The police came to the house. They got a 911 call, something to the effect of 2 people were killed by a shooter. And the shooter, I guess, I'm speculating, the shooter apparently made the call and was going to kill himself. So the police came for that. Now, there was like, it wasn't SWAT or anything. Like they have SWAT down in the States. We have ERT.
Yeah.
It wasn't that. It was just regular officers.
Yeah.
There was like 8 of them that came. And he was all freaked out because he's kind of like suspicious of the police and the government and all that. And he's got signs on his door saying, if you want to come in, you need a warrant. I'm like, all right, well, whatever.
Sounds
whatever.
really friendly.
Yeah, I know. See, he seems like a nice guy, but I was like, what the hell? Anyway. So then, I hope I'm getting this right. So the police came in anyway because it's called extenuating circumstances, because they needed to clear the house. So they came in, cleared the house, did what they did. Apparently Tim said they were really nice, but there was 8 of them in his house. You know, no one drew a gun. That was good. No one got hurt. That was good. And then they left. So I had never heard the term. And then when we're hanging out today, I mentioned it to you because I thought this was really weird. And then you said, oh yeah, I know that's swatting. Okay. So gave the background as to why we're doing this little show. And so now you know what this term is. I had never heard it before today.
Yeah. So
I thought it was like a bug, like SWAT. No, but I thought it was like swatting. I thought it was like some slang term for hacking into the live stream or something.
Yeah. So it's not hacking into the live stream, but if you had the technology to do nefarious things with phones and phone numbers, you could make a 911 call, or you could make a telephone call and make it look like it's coming from another number.
Yes.
Right. So we
get those Revenue Canada calls all the time.
Yeah. So it looks like it's coming from Revenue Canada or a government agency, and it's just a scam. So this is a similar thing where the scammer is calling 911 and it looks like it's coming from a person's residence or a different telephone number than the numbers they're actually using to call from. So with that technology, they're spoofing the number. So they're just using a fake number.
Like this house. It's coming from this house, the call.
Yeah. So if that were to happen and the 911 call, especially if it looked like it came from a landline, which they would use the technology to make it look like that, then the police are going to have to act on the information that's being received by the caller.
Right.
Right. With the information that comes as a digital package with every 911 call comes a digital package of information with the information about the telephone number, the subscriber, the address where it's coming from. And if it was a cell phone, then
so
a
if someone
radius
called
of a
911
cell
from this
tower.
house here or any house in Canada, the police are getting certain information. They're going to know it's my phone or or whoever's phone.
If you were calling from a landline, you have to have that number registered through your phone company. And that information comes as a digital package to the 911 center. So
would they know any history as well? Like if 911 was called a lot from this house, or if there was a person that was known to police there, or, if like Tim Poole was saying, do they know I'm a podcaster? And then when a call comes from here, I'm a podcaster and this could possibly happen to me again.
So if so let's just say a 911 call came from this residence and we used our landline. Then that information would go into our provincial database to say that number called 911. Doesn't mean that anybody did anything wrong. It doesn't mean that that person's a bad person. It just means that number's called 911 in the past.
Okay. Yep. Makes sense. Okay. So
the number would be, so if a person had the technology to spoof a number, they would spoof the number to say Luigi Saletta at this address has called 911, and then the caller stays on the line and says, "Hi, my name's Luigi Saletta, and I've just killed 2 people in my house, and I'm going to kill myself." So the police have to, and the 911 center has to act on that information as though it's actually coming from this house. We always assume that the information that comes as that digital package is probably true.
Is real. Yeah. I mean,
we don't assume that every call is a fake call.
No, you have to assume they're all real.
Yeah, that's right. So until it can be proven that it's not real, the police have to act on it as though it's a threat.
A legitimate call. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what I was saying is if you meet them at the door and say you can't come in without a warrant, and you're the shooter, and you've got 2 dead people there or whatever, the police can't leave.
Right.
There could be more people. There could be, you could be a threat to yourself. There's there would be a lot of liability if you said, no, you have to come back with a warrant.
Yes.
But they say, no, we can come on the property now.
Yeah. So again, I am not a police officer.
Yes.
I'm not a lawyer.
Right.
But my understanding is that there are very few circumstances where the police are allowed to enter a residence or a building without a warrant.
Okay.
If there is a telephone call from someone inside a residence or a commercial property where they've called 911, and either the information about how the person's doing or who they are, not who they are, but what's happening inside that residence or commercial property, if they don't know what's happening, or the person says, "I'm hurt" or "I need help," because they've called 911, then the police have a duty to the public to ensure the safety of the people that are inside.
Right.
Yeah. So that is a time that a police officer could enter a residence without a warrant, is if somebody from inside that residence called 911 or the police thought that someone from inside had called 911.
Yeah, well, if the call comes from what appears to be inside the residence, I mean, until it gets proven later that call didn't come from the residence. Is that correct?
Yeah. So the police would be.
Do they need to do anything, or can they smash? If they knock and no one comes in, can they just smash and go like immediately?
It certainly wouldn't be their first course of action. They would obviously be trying to make contact with the people that are inside the residence. They would be going to look in windows and see if there are any unlocked doors. They would be knocking on the door. If you've ever had a neighbor that's called 911 and they haven't answered, the police spend a fair amount of effort and time trying to raise somebody inside, because maybe that person's having a medical emergency. So the police wouldn't want the first course of action to be to go there and kick the door in. They would want to see if they could raise somebody else inside, wake them up, somebody else that could come to the door, so that they could ensure the safety of the people inside.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. You don't want to just go kicking doors down. So I was thinking incredibly dangerous thing to do.
Yes.
Like dumb.
Yeah, very dumb.
Because you're going to a residence now as a police officer thinking that 2 people are dead and there's an active shooter in the house. That's dangerous.
Well, and a police officer would be thinking there are 2 people inside the residence that have been shot.
Yes.
There's a potential always that those people are not dead.
Oh, yes, right. Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But then, and they're also thinking there's someone there with a gun that just shot them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty stupid thing to do. I know. I mean, I guess like when you're a political commentary guy like this Tim Pool guy is, or any of these, political guys, you're gonna have that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't think there are a lot of people in the world that are that vengeful or have the technology to be doing those sorts of things. But you put that combination together, somebody that has access to that technology and then is vengeful or spiteful or making bad decisions, and then you're putting a lot of people at risk.
Yeah, no kidding. Because I was saying, like, if you're a drug dealer and your ex-boyfriend's a drug dealer and he's got big piles of drugs all over the place. Good way to get the cops to go into that house.
Yeah, but you don't need to do it that way.
I guess
you can just phone and say, "Hi,
so
I don't want to give my name, but I know somebody that has drugs at this address, and this is how you can buy drugs from them," and you can just make the call.
Oh, right.
You can,
and they'll just go get a warrant and search the house legally. Right.
Yeah, there would be an investigation that took place, and then they would just.
Right.
Yeah, you can sewer people with a lot less dangerous ways.
Girlfriend, don't tell her any of the business.
Don't make people mad.
That was like when Michael became Godfather. They closed the door on his wife. They didn't let her in the room to discuss the business. There was women's business and there was the men's business.
Oh, boy.
What? But I can
There
understand.
are lots of women mobsters.
Yes, there was. Michael's mother was a real gangster, but
Okay.
you know, it always goes back to the Godfather. So
Everything goes back to the Godfather. Okay.
So, you work for a company now that answers 911 calls, but
Yeah.
previous you used to work directly for the city.
Yeah, for
Right?
Victoria
Police. Yeah. And you've answered 911 calls for how long? How long have you done that?
A long time.
A long time.
Over 20 years.
Over 20?
Yeah.
Has it been? Did you start there after I opened the shop? Has it been more than 25 years?
It has not been more than 25 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Goddamn old lady.
I know, hey?
Oh man.
I know. That's what shift work does.
No.
You can
No,
be
what are you
20 years old and
Oh,
look like you're 80.
You look pretty good for
Oh,
an old
thanks,
gal.
Eddie.
Yeah, you look good for a young gal. You just look good.
That's
Let's
good.
put it that way.
That is the right
Shit,
answer.
I'm sleeping on the couch tonight. So you've obviously heard and seen lots of different scenarios.
Yeah.
During your 911 time.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, are we done with the swatting thing?
Okay, so no,
Okay.
because
And then we'll
it's
go into
happened here.
It's happened here in our town.
On
Somewhat.
on Vancouver
okay,
Island, it has happened.
I'm sure you can't tell me exactly.
Yeah, where someone has spoofed a number
No.
to say really, really terrible things where they pretended that they were torturing a child.
Oh.
So, I mean, that's something obviously that as 911 operators and the police are going to take very seriously.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of people that worked really hard to find out where that number came from.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So, were they able to do that? Do we have the technology to find these spoof numbers?
Yeah. It is very complicated. It's not like on CSI or the
just
Law
someone at
and
the
Order
computer
shows.
going here to here to here. Yeah.
Yeah. There's technology out there. If there's technology to do it, there's technology to undo
Yes.
it. It's just not easy.
I'm almost surprised that they don't have something like installed that it can happen in real time, or like a way that the police would know that, okay, I make a phone call from this phone number and there's not a way to verify that in real time that yes, this is coming from this number. It's
Right.
not being somehow rerouted to a proxy or a fake number.
And I don't know that the technology is not out there, but I would imagine we're about to go through a big upgrade in the 911 system, and that may be part of it.
Right.
I don't know exactly, but
Yeah. Well, that would be good. Get these guys. That's not.
yeah.
There's certain things.
And usually the spoofing is not happening, at least in this situation, the spoofing that was happening was not just, you're calling about somebody in Saanich. It was somebody from the United States that was calling.
About a Canadian,
Yeah.
someone on our island.
That's right. And about an incident an in-progress incident that was happening on the island.
Gosh, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people's blood pressure was through
I
the
feel
roof
awful
that day.
for that poor dispatcher that had to take that call. She
Yeah.
must have needed counseling after that. That would have been awful.
It was,
Yeah.
it was not good.
Can you tell me how long ago this happened?
In the last 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Because I know
It's not the only incident that it's happened, but it stands out.
Right.
Because of the information that was given from the caller, all fake information.
but it was detailed information. I wonder what the
Got a
motive.
solution?
No, I don't have a
Oh.
solution at all. But I just wonder what the motivation to do something like that is.
I don't know
Is it just
exactly,
the
but
thrill of doing it?
I think it's just to create chaos.
Right. Yeah. So like, to go back to the swatting, Tim Pool was saying, the person that did it was
Yes.
probably watching the show
Potentially, yeah.
live, potentially,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So they're watching it live and they're like having a good chuckle
Yeah.
and, I got him, that,
Yeah.
that lying bastard or whatever the motivation is.
Yeah.
But to just do that, I don't know.
But I would imagine that the repercussions after that person is caught are substantial. Like that person, I would imagine, especially in the US, they're going to jail for a long, long time.
Yes. They were saying on that podcast, it's 20 years and it's
Yeah.
a felony. So I don't know what a felony means in the US,
Yeah.
but 20 years sounds sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know what 20 years means. In Canada, that means like like 6 months with a slap on, then 2 years of probation. But I think in the U.S., it's 20 years means like a long time.
You would be going to jail, I'm sure.
For a while. Yeah. It's not going to be a 6 months club fed.
Nope.
No. Yeah, interesting. So to get back, you've answered 911 calls for a lot of years.
Yeah.
You've, I'm sure, heard a lot of craziness on, because I remember I'm laughing because I remember when you told me.
Oh boy.
And so I want to explore or talk about some of the crazy calls. I don't know, you might not want to talk about them all because I'm sure some are traumatic.
Yes.
But I remember you telling me a long time ago about a 911 call you got where there was a couch. Do you remember this one?
Nope.
Come on, in the middle of the street. You do so, you liar. You do so. There was a couch in the middle of the street.
Nope, nothing.
And it made it into a magazine or a news show,
Yeah, I
like
wonder
internationally.
why. Oh, because it probably the scanners.
It probably got on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got out there some. This was pre-internet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well,
So
pre main exposure to the internet. The internet was there, but
yeah,
because it must have been like 95 or 6
Yeah.
or 7 or something like that.
people do a lot of silly
Yeah,
stuff.
what were they doing? Come on.
Filming a movie.
Were they filming a movie?
Yeah. They they didn't
No.
have permits or anything. They
No,
were just
but were they
people.
filming an adult movie?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh, because wasn't there a chicken too or something?
Maybe.
Come on. You're
maybe
killing me here.
maybe a rooster.
A rooster. A couch, 2 guys, a rooster, and a major intersection in downtown Victoria. And they were filming some
filming something. I
like-
don't think it was an adult
It wasn't
movie.
a
I don't think it was
oh.
anything
like that bad. It was just
Yeah.
doing some stupid stuff.
Yeah.
I remember laughing about that for like ever. Yeah, it was a good one. So give me another story if you want to. Do you want to do that, or we can just talk about random law
Let's see,
things?
a work story.
911.
Yeah.
You just told me about one that was hard to hear.
Yeah.
About the parkade.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Ugh.
It's all sad news.
It is
sad news,
it's a
bad
job
news.
That you're in. It's a sad job.
It is a sad
hard job. I certainly wouldn't want to do your job. I wouldn't want to be a police.
Sometimes I don't want to do my job.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be a police officer either, because I think when you're in policing, I know the cops get
Raked over the coals?
Yeah, raked over the coals
Yep.
constantly. But like they're dealing with the shit rats all
Yeah.
the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. They're
Yes.
going to worst case scenarios.
Yeah. They're the police officers on the road, although they, yes, they pull over speeders, and yes, they go to
Hassle you for stupid things, and yeah. Well, they do. They'll hassle
No,
you for.
they don't.
Oh, bullshit. They'll hassle you for.
Baloney.
Oh, you turned left on the yellow.
Yeah,
and then
'cause you weren't following the
You
rules.
impeded the pedestrians. It's like, there's $180. Thanks
Yeah.
very much.
Because there's rules that need to be followed.
Yes. there's rules.
But yeah, I would say that policing right now is particularly difficult. There have been a lot of bad press, a lot of bad things that police officers, especially in the U.S., have done. Just like in any profession, there are going to be good police officers and there are going to be bad ones. But in general, the ones that I work with have been amazing. They serve the community. They have been out there during COVID, and they've gotten a lot of bad press. And a lot of that has bled over to us as their support in emergency services from the public. Because when the public are mad about the police or about a ticket that they got or about, why are you at this protest or why are you not at this protest or why are you doing something or not doing something, they phone us. And we're the first people to get yelled at, screamed at, name called,
Right.
whatever. Because I think that people that are calling the police and 911 think that the people answering are police officers.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Where
Well, you're not. Not
we
in
are
Canada.
not. Well,
Anywhere?
in Edmonton.
Oh, in Edmonton
Yeah.
there. But I
but-
don't even think they are in the U.S., are they? Or not all, not everywhere?
Not
in the
all of them. I
No.
think that a majority of operational communication centers would be almost all civilians. So meaning not police officers.
Yes.
Yeah. It would depend.
Yeah.
But
ours is not police
ours
officers.
is not. Yeah. They're all people that have been trained by us to do the job and to act as the liaison between the public and the police. But yeah, we're the first ear that gets yelled at.
Yeah, and I mean, I can understand completely why they're yelling at you, because they need to yell at somebody, but they're not yelling at the right person.
No.
Even yelling at the police officers themselves isn't really yelling at the right person, because they're probably just following orders that someone else told them.
Yeah.
You got to yell at the mayor, the chief.
I guess so.
Yeah, well, I mean, who's the chief's boss? The mayor, right? Technically?
Yeah.
And then...
the police board, yeah.
And then the police board. So those are the guys you should be yelling at. If the chief's not doing the right jobs, not getting the officers to where you think they need to be.
Yeah.
But you as a civilian, or as just a, you probably don't know half of what the police are thinking.
Yeah.
And why they're doing what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I think that we have a pretty good idea of why police are doing what they're doing, but I mean, we're just the worker bees, just like anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You can yell, if you don't like what's happening at Thrifty's, you can yell at the cashier, but the cashier is just one of a big cog of a big business.
Yeah. Well, even in my business, we don't really get yelled at. We're quite lucky in our line of work, but sometimes you're out of something and someone will just give you like the biggest attitude, hard time. It's absolutely nothing you've done. Like, the brewery is out or the supplier is out. And what am I supposed to do? I ordered it. It didn't come. Mm-hmm. And now they're yelling at you and shaking their head and telling you how, this is no way to run a effing business and this and that.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Almost everybody has a boss, right?
Yeah. And even as a business owner, sometimes you're at the mercy of suppliers, supply chain, COVID, whatever. Mm-hmm. You can't always get the products.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes people will blame the company for bad service they get from a staff member, which is, which isn't always the way either. So it doesn't, the public doesn't always yell at the right people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think just not yelling at them or anyone is probably better.
Probably
just
the
chill
best
out
thing,
a bit.
yeah.
It's like, it's not that big a deal that we don't have your cigar or your case of beer. You just get something else.
Yeah.
Or go somewhere else.
Yeah,
Who cares?
exactly.
Just shut up and leave.
What else? What else do you want to know?
I want to know a 911 story.
No, I'm not telling you any.
Really?
No.
Why not?
Because you live in the normal world.
I do.
And people that do my job or even more traumatized, like police officers or ambulance attendants, we live in a world where trauma is a daily thing for us. We have our own coping mechanisms. We have our own people that we talk to when we have bad calls or we experience tough things. And we need to be surrounded by people in the normal world like you that haven't been exposed to that.
I'm not afraid to walk in my city at night.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
and sometimes there are other people that might be traumatized and they don't want to walk in the city at night or really ever.
For sure. So, you know how like, I'll hear people say like nurses, they're all crazy.
Yeah.
And it's not that they're crazy. It's that they have different ways of coping with a high stress situation all the time.
I would say that there probably aren't a lot of nurses that are actually crazy.
No. No.
It'd be a
What
very
I meant by
difficult
crazy,
job to
I
do.
didn't mean mentally ill. I meant like a little wild.
Yeah.
I think that's what I mean. And
Sure.
I think our dispatchers, 911 operators, do they have like a little bit of a wildness to them?
I would say we're very type A.
Yeah.
Maybe not in every aspect of life, but I would say that most dispatchers are very, they would like, if they could, to have control over lots of things and lots of decisions that they're making. They are very intense. They're very direct in their communication. They're very fast paced. We're fast talkers. We think quickly. We do lots of things sort of at the same time.
You have a dark sense of humor.
We have a very dark sense of humor.
You make me cringe.
I know.
I am
there are things that
the
are said.
dirtiest filth mouth person.
There are things that are said in comm centers that should never be repeated outside.
And I guess to a lay person like myself, hearing that, I'd be like, that's completely inappropriate and disgusting.
Yeah.
But it's a way you've got to cope with the stress. If you think about it too much,
it's part of coping with trauma and with stress and so on. But I heard somebody say once that black humor is sometimes a way to deal with information that is otherwise unfathomable.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So like if you took a 911 call where things didn't go well or someone died or someone killed themselves when they're on the phone with you, if you really think about that, you start going down a really dark circle.
Yeah.
But if you have time to kind of sit with it and, process it however you need to emotionally, and then you have a chance to be around other people that can be with you in that moment, and then you have a chance to kind of deal with it with some black humor, it allows you to sort of set aside that emotional trauma and go, okay, let's put this to bed. Yeah. So I think black humor is in nursing and policing and
Probably
paramedics.
ambulance, paramedics, Yeah, I know a couple of paramedics. Woo!
Yeah. I mean, because
good guys.
How could you see that sort of, like that sort of trauma, that sort of things that a brain is not supposed to be seeing, eyes aren't
It's
supposed
like
to be
going
seeing
to
that.
war.
Yeah.
It's like the stuff you see in war sometimes, right? Yeah, my one buddy that I had on the podcast, he's seen people cutting too, and just all sorts of kids and old people, young people, men, women, didn't matter. He's seen them. Yeah, he's seen a lot of dead people. So not normal people they don't go through that.
No.
I've seen some dead people at funerals, but I've never seen a dead person like outside of a funeral home,
right?
That I can think of. That's, I guess I'm pretty lucky.
Yeah.
Think about it. Right?
Or don't think about it.
Well, if I think about it, yeah.
It's
If I think about it, I'm lucky. But
but
I don't want to think about that kind of stuff. I don't want to see dead people.
No.
It's awful.
No. And most people,
dead people.
and people shouldn't have to see that, but some professions, that's a requirement.
Yeah, and thank goodness for those types of professions. People taking care of people. We were talking about that earlier today.
Yeah.
People taking care of people, important jobs. Yeah, hard.
Yeah.
But necessary. Yeah.
You still waiting for a story? That's not coming.
No. I'm good with that. So since you're not going to tell me any 911 stories, I'll ask you a couple of questions about the profession.
Okay.
So if you are a person, folk that want to think they might want to get into that line of work, what do they do? What are your prerequisites or requirements as a citizen to get into that line of work?
There's not a ton of prerequisites for the job
because makes sense.
Because we will train.
How's that working out for you?
Super. Because we'll train you in-house. So if you have the right personality type, if you can type quickly, if you can handle stress, if you can multitask,
AKA crazy,
AKA type A.
Type A? Oh,
yeah.
Crazy, but whatever. Yeah, you call it type A. It sounds nicer.
Then they should apply.
Right.
Yeah. You have to be able to type really, really fast.
What's that mean?
Well, I think you have to test at 60 words a minute, but there are not a lot of people that I work with that only type 60 words a minute.
Oh, yeah. So, and then, so you decide you want to be a dispatcher, you apply.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of hoops you have to jump through.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. What would they like to see on your resume? That you can type 60 words a minute? Would a bachelor's be good?
Yeah, bachelor's would be good, especially if it were in something like psychology or... there are lots of things.
Yeah.
If you had a criminology background or you took courses through the Justice Institute or
that kind of stuff,
things like that.
Then once you get a call, then what? Like I get phoned up. I've applied and I get phoned up. What happens?
Then you have to take what they call a critical test, which is
like a lie detector.
No, which is like a which is like
so boring.
It's like a multitasking computer program. So you, as you're typing, you have to be able to remember a certain series of numbers and letters, and then something will pop up on your screen. You have to be able to action that, and then get back to your series of numbers and letters, and be able to type and look at visual cues and have a good short-term memory and things like that. That's one step. Yes, there is a lie detector test.
Cool.
That's one of the last things, though. There's multiple video interviews because everything's gone to video interviews now.
Okay.
Yeah. lots of screening. There's probably 3 levels of interviews before you ever are even allowed to take the critical test.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then, so you get a bunch of interviews. You pass those. You take this critical test, which is the multitasking typing thing.
Yep.
And then you pass that.
Yeah.
And
then you go to your lie detector test.
Oh, okay.
Reference checks.
What do they ask you at the lie detector?
All sorts of things.
Give me something.
I don't know.
Do you know any of the questions?
Yeah.
Well, what the heck?
Have you ever stolen? There's all sorts of things. Like they start to.
What if you say yes?
You'd have to be honest.
Okay. Yes, I've stolen. What's another question?
Do you drink?
No.
But then they're looking for patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
so
drink?
I mean, you can
smoke? Do you do drugs?
Yeah, you can drink and you can smoke. But if you said yes, I've done heroin. When was the last time you did it? 2 days ago. They probably would pass.
Right.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Darn it.
That
Hey.
stuff's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You.
I don't know. Okay, and then you pass that lie detector test, and then you are scheduled to do some training, and you're going to train them.
Yep. And then you have 3.5 weeks of training in the classroom.
3.5, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day.
Yep. And then you
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
Expensive to train a
Yeah,
person.
they invest a lot in.
Yeah, because they're
into the
getting
new
paid, you're
hires.
getting paid.
Yeah. And then you hit the floor and you have a mentor. So just like a plumber or anything else, you have somebody that knows how to do the job that's going to teach you how to do the job. So you've got, about the policies, about the basics, how to use the computer. Now the mentor is going to do all the heavy lifting and they're going to teach you everything else about the job, which is probably 90% of what you actually need to learn. You learn on the floor. So
Right. What are you learning in the classroom then? 3.5 weeks of nothing?
Ouch.
Well, I'm saying it's like, is it policy?
A lot
and-
of So there's 100 policies that you have to read
Oh my goodness.
and know and memorize them, and then the final exam.
And then I get tested on those policies. So it's policy and procedures more in the classroom.
Yes.
And then learning how to actually do the calling and
Yes.
whatever you're switching and doing the things, that happens on the floor.
Yeah.
What's the success rate out of the classroom?
Out of the classroom right now, we're almost always at 100%.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
So it's
sometimes
it's pretty good then.
There are people that have not been successful in the classroom, so they haven't passed the final exam. But most people pass the classroom, and then it's when they get onto the operations floor, we're at about 80% success.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty good.
So
actually.
8 out of 10 people 10 people get hired, 8 of those people will succeed as call takers and be able to work independently.
Wow. That's actually pretty good.
It's pretty
I didn't
good.
think it'd be that high. Now, of the 80%,
Yeah.
so you start with 10.
Yep.
You have 8. How many of those 8 are left in a year?
6, 5.
6, 5, 6.
A lot of people work for us and work with us for a while before they get hired as police officers. So they're interested in policing. They're in the process of being hired. They have started their interviews or they've been deferred, which means that you have applied to be a police officer. You've gone through the process. A police agency is interested in you, but they've said, go into the world, young man or woman, and get some more life experience. So usually working for us gives them some life experience, teaches them a bit about policing and policies and the law, and then they go back and usually get hired. Often get hired.
Seems to me that should be one of the questions at the first interview.
What, do you want to be a police officer?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay that they want
Is
to.
it?
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like they're only going to be around 6 months, a year, and then they're gone. And that's not enough time after all that investment.
It's worth it.
Really?
To have a good employee that's very invested in not only the company, but the safety of the public and the community and doing the right thing and acting with integrity, totally worth it. I mean, I'm not paying the bills, but totally worth it to have an invested employee for 1 year that then goes on to be a police officer. That's probably a very strong police officer because they've got that background. It's worth it.
Okay.
Wouldn't you take an employee that had strong skills for a year rather than a wishy-washy employee for 10 years?
Yeah, I guess so. I take it very personally when people leave the company.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, that's good.
Anytime somebody's leaving to follow their dreams or go on to a profession they've always wanted to do, it's a good thing.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Yeah, I guess I could say that most of the people that leave my companies are leaving to
other
move
things.
on to better things.
Yeah.
They're not just leaving and going and doing the same job because they hate me.
Yeah, or they're not going to work just somewhere else.
Yeah, usually. So that's good. You sure you don't want a little
No,
whiskey?
I'm good.
I got the bison grass. That's a great vodka.
Ew.
It's got a piece of grass in it.
I know, it's so
It's
weird.
really good.
No.
Oh, you sure? Okay.
No, thank you.
Delicious straight. I usually smoke a cigar.
I know.
This is killing
Yeah.
me. It's okay. I don't have to smoke too much.
So, what about you?
What about me?
Yeah. What's going on for you these days? You just moved.
Yes.
You moved your business.
Yes, I did. I moved one of my cigar store locations. We are now, we moved the location. Most people won't know, but we have a cigar store in downtown Victoria, and we moved that store to Government Street, 901 Government Street. It's Government Street is like the busiest, most
Tourist oriented.
Well, tourist and just buzzy street.
There's a lot of people.
There's a lot of
of good, normal people walking around down there.
And it's not just tourists. I don't like it when people classify Government Street as a tourist street. Yes, there are a lot of tourist shops. I am not a tourist shop. I cater to locals.
Yeah.
As do, I would say, some of the business there. Some of the pubs, the restaurants across the street, the coffee shops, they cater to locals as well. They have good products that locals shop at in the off season. It's not enough to have it's not enough to have a business that only is busy 3 or 4 months of the year. So in the off season, Government Street is still a busy street. And, like for me, I look at Canada and I look at, you got Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto, Victoria, kind of, right?
Yep.
So we moved to one of the busiest, best retail-friendly streets in one of the best tourist locations in the whole country. It's probably going to mean good things for the company.
I hope
Just
so.
hope I can keep it together.
Yeah.
It's going to be busy. At least I hope so.
Yeah.
So we're at 901 Government Street. That's right on the corner of Government and Courtney. It's a slightly larger location, not a ton, but it's very pretty. It looks quite nice. We're going to be fully stocked. We've got so many cigars in house right now, which is excellent. We got a ton of Cuban cigars, limited edition cigars, reserves. We are the exclusive Davidoff dealer for the island, the exclusive Dunhill dealer for the island. So a lot of good things. Pretty proud of the company and pretty proud of the staff. We've been able to come from very humble beginnings, and we've been able to grow.
Kind of humble beginnings.
What do you mean? Kind of humble.
What do you mean by humble beginnings? Where did you start?
Well, I started in the basement of a local neighborhood pub.
Oh, that's funny. I remember starting before that.
Well, I did. I started in the bedroom of my bedroom at my parents' place, if that's what you mean.
That is what I mean.
Actually, yeah. Started in the bedroom, my bedroom of my parents' house here in Victoria. And my only humidor was a bookcase that had glass doors on it that I put all my cigars in and humidified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then your office phone was an old rotary phone on a bedside table. So
I had a rotary phone on a bed. No, it was on my desk. It was on my desk. Yeah,
okay.
It was on my desk, and it was a rotary phone. And of course, the bell on the inside would ring. But even on the lowest setting, it was too loud because I didn't want my mom and dad to hear it, just in case it rang at night or something. So I took the cover off and taped the bells up. So when it rang, it just come like, just enough for me to hear it, and I could answer that.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And how many staff do you have now?
I'm not right now. Actually, I'm low.
Yeah, why?
A couple staff left.
Yeah.
They went against the family. They're
Stop
dead.
it.
They're dead to me.
Stop it.
Actually, I talked to Kyle today, and I saw Tegan today.
So how many staff do you have at the cigar store?
Just four staff. Four staff. Four staff. Yeah, just four.
Yeah, that is low.
It is low because
For
now
two stores.
Because now I'm there full time.
Yeah.
On the counter.
Yes.
Phil, Keegan, Sam, Blaine. That's it. Who am I missing?
Keegan.
I said Keegan. Keegan and Phil, Sam Blaine.
Yeah.
That's it. 4 staff for the amount of hours we're open. Yeah, it's not much. So, and me. So 5. 5 with me. But I'll hire up a couple more here pretty quick. Get back up to 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the best part about owning your own business?
You don't have to work 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But you get to work 24/7.
You don't have to work 9 to 5 when you get to work 6 till midnight.
That's right. 9 to 5. Yeah. Yeah. What's the best part of owning your own business? Yeah, it's definitely not the hours. Like if I was a more astute businessman, I would delegate more to free up more of my time to use it creatively. And I'm trying to get there, but it seems like every time I build and get a few more staff trained up, it's like someone's leaving to go somewhere else. It's retail. It's not a place where people come to stay.
Yeah.
Typically. Now I do have a couple staff that have been with me for quite a long time, and I've moved them into like managerial type positions and with more and more responsibility. But there's only room for a couple of those people in my store. So the rest of them are just kind of like retail, and there's only going to be so long they're going to stay. You know, usually it's 2 to 3 years, which is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
So I got to maybe look at a way to give the, other than 2 people or 1 person the responsibility, give 3 or 4 some more responsibility, back myself out a bit, do some other things that I need to do to grow the company, and then give them a better wage so that they will stay longer. I think that's the, I try and tell other people that are getting into business that they can't do what I do.
Yeah.
It's too much. It's too much. I don't know how we've pulled it off. I've pulled it off with the support of a good wife, for one, and family. Because if if you didn't have the support of your family,
you probably couldn't do it.
We couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I had a business
really
partner when I started up, and it was a little bit more difficult for him because he had kids and I didn't, and he didn't have the support of his family to put in the hours that were necessary at the beginning. Yeah. And because of that, he basically asked to be bought out. And we came to an agreement, and he left the company, which is a shame, because if you could just a little long, it would have been okay.
Yeah, you would have had a bit more
time
more
to
spend with the family.
Yeah. So anyway, when I tell people, don't do payroll, don't do your own bookkeeping, don't do absolutely everything. Yeah. Do what you're really good at. So for me, it's selling. I should be selling, communicating with the customers, communicating with the staff. Yeah, I can reconcile bank statements really, really well. And I could do payroll extremely well. Yeah. But I don't think I'm worth it for me to do that job when I could hire out, like I was talking to my brother, I could hire out my payroll for $20 a month. Well, I did payroll today. It probably took me an hour. Do I need to spend an hour doing that when I could be selling? Yeah. Or training? So anyway.
What's your company doing better than the other companies that are in the same business?
Nothing.
Yes, they must be.
So there are other really great cigar stores in our city. Some are not so good. Some are quite good. I don't know if we're doing anything necessarily better, but we are very consistent. My manager is very diligent. We're always ordering product. He's dynamic. If you can't get this product from a supplier, he knows that other suppliers will sometimes have it. Might cost us a little more, but it's worth it for us to get that. Keep it in stock. Keep the customers always coming into our store. So our goal is if a customer comes in, they're buying the product here at our store. They're not leaving. And there was a cigar store when I first opened up that is not there anymore, and they were constantly running out. And those people were coming to my new, humble little 350-foot store. And it was a humble little store. But I had the product. And then they bought it from me. Yeah. And then that happened 2 or 3 times, and they just stopped going back to that other store. Yeah. And then I always had the product because I was like a one-man show. It was easy to keep track. I knew exactly what was going on. So always having the product big is a big thing. And consistency of service too. Like all of our staff, no tobacco. That is a requirement. If you don't know tobacco, you will get trained until you know it. If you can't pick it up, you can't work for us.
Yeah.
There's no pretending. You have to know tobacco. It's not a prerequisite to smoke, even though all of our staff do enjoy the occasional cigar or cigarette or pipe or hookah or whatever. So that's also quite good. So I never ask my staff if they smoke, but it's because of the type of business we're in, they tend to appreciate the product. So all of my staff smoke cigars. They all smoke a pipe. We've all tasted cigarette tobacco. I don't smoke cigarettes, but I've tasted it just so I know what I'm selling. Not many of us chew tobacco, but we've all tasted it, so we know what we're selling.
Ew.
I know, it's disgusting. But so a lot of people like it. It's a big part of our company. And then with Phil, he has made sure that we are a tobacconist. So we have all the tobacco products.
Yeah.
Even if they don't sell, we have it because we need to. It's our business. So that's something that we're doing better. And some of the other shops that are doing good will hear that we have things and then bring those in. But I am proud to say when a distributor brings in a new product and they don't want to launch it in our city, they come to us first.
Nice. Good job.
Yeah, it is good. That's why we get exclusives. That's why we are the Dunhill guys and the Davidoff guys. And we've had lots of other exclusive lines in the past where we're the ones they want to launch with. They always come to us first.
Yeah. Would you do it again? So if you were 22 years old.
In this year?
No, if you were 22 years old, would you do it again? Would you?
Like 1994?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Would I do it now? I don't know. It's becoming very difficult.
Yeah.
Now, where I was 25 years ago, 26 years ago, is where a new store would be, where you can't get the product.
Right.
When I first got in the business, I couldn't get the product.
Yeah.
So, it's not that I mean, I didn't have the money to buy it, but it just wasn't any available. So right now in our city, when it comes to Cuban cigars, there's only 2 stores that really get most of the cigars, and one of them is us. And we've got 2 locations, so we get a lot. So when you come into our store, you'll see 30, 40, 50 boxes of Cuban cigars, if not more. And you go to some other stores and they have 5, 6, 7. So anyone opening a new store today is not going to get the limited edition, the expensive, rare cigars. They're just not going to get any. And that's exactly where I was 26 years ago.
Yeah.
Thankfully, 26 years ago, I don't know why, but we were just able to hang on.
Yeah. Well, you worked another job too.
Well, I did.
So
I
you
worked
still
another
had
job for a
income
while.
from
Oh, yeah.
another.
No. I didn't make any money from the store, but I was able to hang on and just slowly bring in the stuff that I could get to develop the clients. And then when the stuff that I couldn't really get a lot was available, I bought it immediately.
Yeah.
And then they come into the store, the reps, and they're like, oh, this is, and then things started to change. But it took years.
Yeah. It did.
It took years. I didn't get paid more than a pittance for probably 7 years.
I'd say 10.
Yeah.
I know because I paid the bills for 10 years.
You did. Yeah.
It was a long time.
It was a long
You
time.
sacrificed for
A
a
long-
lot of years before you
because
ever
I
took
didn't
a
come,
wage.
like a lot of people that own cigar stores in this city and across Canada, they came into it with a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like, it's hilarious. Like, there's bankers and financial guys and guys that have other successful businesses or people that own a lot of land and then they have a cigar store. So to them, it's like
a hobby.
It's like almost like a hobby.
Yeah.
I need the fixtures. I'll spend 50 grand on fixtures. I'll buy 100 grand worth of tobacco and I'll buy a bunch of accessories and I'll fill it up. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
My humidor was built by my granddad. Thank
Pretty
good-
amazing.
Yeah, we still have that humidor.
Yeah.
I probably built that humidor for $1,000 in materials. Built a couple more shelves, 15 grand worth of product.
Yeah.
And we were open. And a crappy till that I got secondhand somewhere.
Yeah.
And then we were open. That was it. 15 grand worth of product for the whole store.
Yeah.
Most our
You
orders
can't get a box
most our
this big
orders
now.
most our orders are twice that today.
Yeah. What's your favorite memory from the cigar shop?
I don't know exactly, but One thing I was talking about is some of the people you get to know.
Yeah.
Right. The people is like, that's why I got into the cigar business, is because of the characters that come into the store. Now, we've lost some guys from, age and whatnot.
They passed away.
Yeah. Passed away. A few moved away. The ones that move away, you're sad to see them go, but you don't miss them.
They're
like,
okay.
They're okay.
Yeah.
The ones that die, it's different.
Yeah.
And I know it's like, oh, smoking, they died from lung cancer. No, not necessarily. I mean, it's possible, but no.
I don't think any of the ones that I know of.
No, none of them did.
Yeah, it was not smoking related.
And, but I think about these guys, some of them, and we've created like a little bit of a social club because we do special events.
Yes.
And we don't smoke in our stores, but some of the guys have gotten friendly with each other, and now they meet up at their garages or in their little smoking rooms or whatever. And I think of some of the guys, and I think of all their friends. They're all from the cigar store. Mm-hmm. They're all from the cigar store.
Yeah, it's a very connected group.
Now, I wonder sometimes if it wasn't for me and my staff and the store, for them to get to know these other people and become friends and have these relationships, would they have anyone?
Don't you think they would have different relationships? They would have.
I wonder. Maybe they would have cultivated a different relationship.
Yeah.
But when my friend Ray was dying, the people that went to visit him were all from the cigar store, and my friends also, like myself and Bill and Joe and Warner and whoever went to visit him.
Yes.
They were all friends that he made from the cigar store. He didn't have anyone else.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Now, he would have probably have cultivated other friendships if he didn't have us, but it's pretty special.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Yeah. I miss that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a good guy. We all miss him. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, it's the friendships and the connections, I think, is the biggest thing. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what I would do without the people from the cigar store. I don't really hang out with anyone else except for my family.
Yeah.
Family, and then the guys from the shop. Whether it be staff or customers. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you made some good friends along the way.
yeah, some really good friends. And then, when I had my first store and then I opened my second store, I took over a cigar shop that was already there. So I kind of inherited some new customers, right? And those guys became my friends.
Yeah.
And those guys were so excited to see someone reopening that store that they all came to help me open them. I didn't even know them.
Yes.
Well, I kind of knew them, but I didn't really know them because they would come into my store a few times, but they came to help me. They helped me paint. They helped me move in. They helped me, do some stuff. And they were just happy as could be because there was someone opening up that cigar store.
Yeah.
And some of those guys have now become very close friends to me. Yeah. Like we hang out together. They come to our house. We go to their house. We see them.
Yeah.
They know our kids. We know their kids. Yeah. I mean, Warner, I visited his son in Texas and spent time with him there.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's a good relationship to have built through the business. Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to have known these guys and gotten to create the friendships. Now, some of the special events we've done have been great. We did golf tournaments. We did some cruises to beaches and smoked on the beach. And those are all really fun. We've done barbecues and we've done all sorts of fun events like that. But, and there's been some good laughs and, yeah. But I don't know what the best
That's
memory.
good, though. It's the relationship.
Yeah. Like, my friend Steve that passed away.
Yes.
Another one. Yeah, you gotta have old friends. You gotta have young friends. Can't just have all old friends. I need some young friends.
I
now,
know. Can't always choose your friends.
No. But I met him first over the phone as a rep for one company, for Heinz Brothers. Then he moved to Brigham, and then he was my rep, and then I met him face to face because he was now the rep for British Columbia. And then we developed a really great friendship, did a lot of really great events together. And then he became my friend. And then he became my competitor, the bastard.
Yeah, I know, hey?
Right? But in another town a couple hours away. And then we maintained our friendship even when he was my competitor. I would see him once a year, right? But we would talk on the phone often. And then he passed away suddenly, and we lost a real advocate for the tobacco business. He knew so much about tobacco. he'd been in the business for 40 years. I've been in it for 25 years. He'd been in it for so long. He knew everybody and everything about tobacco. And yeah, you know, and he was a good enough friend. I went to his funeral. I drove up and went to his funeral and hung out with his family that day. And that was nice. You know, you're close when you go to the funerals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, another amazing friendship that, you know, didn't last long enough, unfortunately, but.
No, poor Steve.
I know.
Well, poor Steve's family.
Poor Steve's family. Yeah. Yeah. But now his daughter phones me up for advice sometimes. That's kind of cool because she took over the company.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Oh,
well, she owns the company because it was willed to her, but she still has a manager. But sometimes she'll phone me up and ask me for advice, and
that's really nice.
More than happy to help her out, of course. Just I didn't know her really. I'd only met her once before, but of course that's okay. I know Steve, so good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if I was gonna say get into into the business again, I would say most definitely. Would I get into it today? Probably not, but I still love tobacco so much that I might. But I don't know. I don't know about today. It's the laws, the rules, the regulations.
If we went back in time.
If I went back in time, I would still do it.
If we went back in time, I would tell you not to.
Because you know what? You know,
it's been a tough ride. It's been a very rocky roller coaster business. Yes. Every time you get ahead, it's been a fight.
The government takes it away from you.
It's been a fight
the whole time.
It's never been like, ooh, this is going really well.
No. It's always been one law after another, limiting and diminishing the amount of business you can do, the types of promotions you can do, the way you can market your company, the way you can market the product. It's been brutal. Brutal. If I had started a men's clothing company, let's say, and I was able to keep
it would have been a lot easier. A lot of competition, but it would have been
I'd be making 5 times what I am today.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It's easy to get clothing.
And there's no regulations. I can do all the promotions, all the parties, all the open houses, anything I want. Yeah. So fashion would have probably been better. Not that I'm a fashionable guy, but I could have probably adapted.
Yeah, you could have made a business.
Well, when I got into the cigar business, I knew almost squat about cigars. I just knew I wanted to get into a men's business, a guy business, a place catering to men, because there wasn't anything like that, right? And then there was another cigar store downtown at the time, and it was miserable to go into. It was quiet and stuffy, and it wasn't friendly. And I was like, I could do better than that. That was easy. Did I say that? I don't want to be a jerk, but it was easy to compete against them. Very, very easy.
Yeah.
Very.
Got it.
Very, 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 very. What was that? Was that from The Office? Very, 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 very easy. He actually went on a lot longer than that.
Was it The Office or was it The Good Place?
Maybe it was A Good Place.
I think it was A Good Place.
Very, very. So would I do it again? Yes. Should I do it again? No. No, I should not. Should I would I go into business for myself? Most definitely. Yes. For all the challenges and the long, long days. The people see the company open from 10 to 6. But they don't know that I'm working at 11, 12 o'clock at night, getting bank deposits ready, or going in super early, or working Saturdays and Sundays.
Or fixing a smashed window.
Or getting called out at 3 a.m. because someone just smashed the shit out of your store and stole $10,000 worth of lighters out of the case, You got to be able to handle that. You got to be able to, what we say is you get kicked in the nuts, but you got to get back up and keep going no matter how much it hurts. You can't, if you stay down, you're done. It's over. Like it's game over. Yeah. So you just have to keep going. Just like anything, I guess. But sometimes it's like.
That was a good call.
What's that?
For me?
Which one?
In a backwards kind of way. When your store got broken into. Because I was at work that night.
Which night was this? There's so many times.
I know your store got broken into a lot.
Yeah. I told the landlord, I've been broken into 5 or 6 times in this location. Just that location. Yes. The other location was at least 2 or 3. Yeah. And he's like, what? I'm like, all the time. It's tobacco. People want to steal that stuff. It's got good street value. He's like, really? I'm like, Always. Constantly fixing windows.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it called?
So one night,
Yes.
somebody smashed a window out at the cigar shop.
Which one? Royal Oak or downtown?
Downtown.
Downtown? Okay.
And the alarm goes off.
Yes.
So then the alarm company phones us.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because that's our job, is to dispatch the police in the middle of the night when your alarm goes off.
Yes.
And I was at dispatch that night.
Right.
Yeah. So the call comes to me and I see your store's name.
And you shit your pants.
No, and I was like, oh no. Of course I know right away.
Yeah. Yeah, you know my address.
And your alarms don't go off willy-nilly
No,
like some places do.
never.
You don't
no.
have any
only
mice.
a break-in.
Yeah, it's
except
only
for
a
maybe
break-in.
one time, maybe in 18 years.
I don't even know if it has ever gone off false, but
Yeah.
and then the first police officer gets there. Yeah, the window's smashed out. And remember, the window was smashed out, but the person that did it squeezed through the bars. Remember that time? You don't remember this?
There's been so many.
Oh my gosh.
Well, there was
Remember
one
you
that
had
just happened like 3 years ago where the skinny crackhead girl
Yeah.
squeezed in through the bars,
yeah.
smashed my
Yes.
my Zycar display.
Yeah.
Were you on dispatch that night?
Yes.
Oh shit, I don't even remember anymore.
Yes. And then
And we thought that she was still in there because I was like, "There's no way
Yeah.
anyone can get
because
out of that."
how wide are the bars?
Oh, 6 inches.
6 inches.
6
and
inches. She
got
squeezed through
between the bars.
Through
So smashed the window out.
And okay, smashed the window out, squeezed between the bar and the door frame, which had all this jagged glass sticking
Yeah.
out of it.
And then went in, smashed
Went
some
in,
stuff,
smashed
stole
the
some
display
stuff,
case.
and then got back out
Out.
through the same spot
Yes.
in the bars.
Yes.
That's crazy. That in
Yes.
itself is crazy.
I can't believe it.
Okay. So
I had more bars put in after that.
yeah,
To make the hole smaller.
which is
I couldn't believe
insanity. So she
it. Oh yeah, she was
or
awesome.
he,
It was
do you know it was a woman?
yes, I think it was known.
Okay.
It made it the police made it known that it was a woman.
A woman. Okay. So she gets
Basically shut the whole city down that night.
No, she didn't.
Oh my gosh. I went downtown. There was police on every corner for like 10 square blocks.
Yeah.
She
So
ransacked the fucking city.
She gets out,
Yes.
then goes to a dispensary
Yes.
and breaks into the
Breaks in.
dispensary.
Yes.
So
And steals a big bag of dope.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
The police caught up
the
with her by now.
police canine unit, so
Yeah.
a police officer with a police dog, pulls up and sees her inside emptying
The
dope
displays into a bag.
into a bag.
Yeah.
So then they have to get her out.
Right.
So now she makes her way from the dispensary, and then there are apartments upstairs. So then there's absolute chaos as she makes her way through the apartment
She's
building.
in the apartment. Now, was she upstairs or was it across the street?
Upstairs, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But then there are alleys that have gates, so the police can't get to her.
But she's gotten through
she's
somehow.
gone,
Yeah.
like she's gone through 6 inches.
Yeah.
But the property reference isn't there yet, so they can't get into the dispensary.
She goes into the...
She goes into this old building where
Yeah.
there's apartments and
just yeah.
like fire escapes and
Yes.
there's stuff everywhere. But the police can't get to her because she's like
Yeah.
gated in.
But then
So
they do get in.
So yeah, then they finally get in, but then they don't know where she is.
Yeah.
Because she's pulled the fire alarm.
Yeah, she pulled the fire alarm.
So
and
now people
released a
are
fire,
released a fire extinguisher in the hallway of the apartment building. Then as she pulls the fire alarm, people come out of their apartments and she goes into somebody's apartment.
Yes, barricades herself in the apartment.
And then starts throwing all of her stolen stuff out the windows.
Oh, I never
She
got
ends
back
up-
my. I never got my stuff
I
back,
know,
but
you
the
never
pawn
did.
shop got their dope back.
You know.
I lost like $8,000 on that one. That was brutal. She took all the most expensive
I
lighters
know.
and smashed this glass. It was like 8 millimeters thick. Smashed it with her. And it's not tempered, so it's these big, huge shards were
Yeah.
falling down. I'm
Surprised it.
shocked she didn't cut her foot off.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. When I was moving, I was fine. I still found some pieces of glass underneath the counters that we couldn't get to.
Eee.
Just little chunks.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, I know.
You didn't clean up very well.
No, we.
Anyways, she ends up barricading herself, and hours and hours and hours and hours later, the police finally get her in custody. After absolute mayhem.
Yes. Yeah.
And an entire apartment building of people that
yeah.
got,
Spent
had
the
to
night outside.
Yeah,
and-
exactly.
Yeah.
two
No,
businesses that
great.
got broken into and damaged, and people's
yeah.
apartments, and
Yeah, I never understand why I never get any of my stuff back.
I don't know. It's
Every time
too,
I've been broken into.
too valuable.
Yeah, police are probably smoking it. Fuckers.
Did she steal cigars?
No, I think it was mostly cigarettes.
Oh, okay.
On that one. Lighters and cigarettes.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, mostly lighters because they're real expensive. But,
I see.
yeah. Yeah.
Who knows? It's probably still in that lady's apartment.
Oh, gosh. Someone found it. If she dumped them somewhere,
Yeah.
she didn't go back and get them. Someone else found them.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I got to more aggressively try and get my stuff back somehow. Like, just look around for it. Because
Yeah.
you kind of know the route they take, you know.
Yeah,
You can
it's
tell,
probably
ask the officers. They'll tell you, oh, she went here and then up here.
Yeah.
At least look around in the bushes.
She probably threw it in a garbage can or in the bushes.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
She
And
was
then
working
hoping
with
to go
somebody
get
else.
it back
or
or get it later
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah. No, I know. So, yeah, it's very difficult to get a call at 3 a.m. that your alarm's going off because you know it's the worst
It's a break-in.
possible thing. And
Yeah.
even in the middle of the night, we're probably still 15 minutes away from the city. So it's like a nice drive in, you know, just late at night. You're like half dressed, like
All disheveled. Oh, your hair's a big mess.
My hair's all messy, and you're driving in, you can't see straight. I remember one night, I was probably the first time I got broken into. I would just drive up to the light, stop, look both ways, go,
Yeah,
stop,
of course.
go. They were all everyone's red. It would have taken me an
Yeah.
hour to get down there. It was like, look, go,
An hour.
go. Wow, it would have added another 5 minutes,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
freaking out because like
Yeah.
that was a time when I went, and it was before I got bars, so I got broken into one night just before, like maybe 3 weeks before Christmas, about 3 weeks before Christmas.
Yeah.
I got broken into. They threw a brick through my window, smashed the window out, took a bunch of tobacco. Then I got my buddy Warner. Okay, let's start working on some bars because I'm gonna need them. So he starts building bars. While he's building the bars, they smash my window out again and break into me again 1 week later.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was a hard
bad.
one. Yeah. So when I drive up, they'd smash the bottom window out of the door, the front door, and there is product strewn all over the street.
Yeah.
Lighters, cigarettes, cigar, everything's outside. I walk in to the store, the officer's there, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Not very fucking good." Not taking it out on the wrong guy.
Yeah.
But he was not too happy
No.
that I lipped him off like that. But I wasn't the suspect. I was the owner. I
Yeah.
was the one getting my ass raked over the coals for the second time in a week. But anyway, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. But he was one of the grumpy ones.
Yeah, he wasn't grumpy at the time I made him grumpy. Because he just asked me how
in
I
his
was
whole
doing,
life.
and I should have just said, "Oh, this is brutal,"
Yeah.
or something. And then
Sure.
he would have empathized with me, but I kind of
He
barked.
may not have.
He may not have, but I kind of barked that,
Yeah.
you know, like, so, yeah, not the best way to react.
Yes.
But damn it, I was pissed off.
No kidding.
Yeah, I was choked. 2 times in a week, just while you're building the bars. And then,
Good thing we always have a sheet of plywood at home.
oh yeah, I kept sheets of plywood down there.
Yeah.
Sheets of plywood and nails because it happened that often. I had them in different dimensions for the different windows.
Yeah.
Got them in the garage right now. Yeah, so that I could board those up.
Yeah. That's brutal.
I know, right? You actually have plywood cut to the different window dimensions so you know you could put it up at any time. Yeah. Except the last time, just before COVID, I got 4 windows smashed out.
Oh, yeah.
The 4
That
windows
guy.
at the front door.
Yeah. The guy
Yeah.
that stole the Harbor Ferry.
Yes, but he didn't steal anything from mine. He just smashed the front doors out. That cost me $800 just in the glass, and I put it in myself. And it was a nice
Good thing
day.
you know how to do stuff.
It was a nice day, though.
Yeah.
Get to spend the day
It's a nice
downtown,
day.
outside. It was like November.
yeah,
It
just
was
what
nice
you
and
wanna
cool.
do.
The air was fresh. It was beautiful.
Yeah, right.
That was great because it took me about 2 weeks to get the glass. So I had boards on my front doors for
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks, people couldn't see the sign. I had
Yeah.
no. Oh, yeah, that was great too. I had just put the vinyl decals on the week
Oh,
before
yeah,
that cost
right.
me $300.
Yeah. And then you smash the
Yeah,
windows
so it was
out.
500 glass, 300 in decaling.
Yeah.
There's the 800. And the Victoria Business Association was going to pay us back, and then they were asking me a bunch of questions, and I was just like, fuck heck, I'm not answering your stupid survey. I paid for it already. Stick it. Piss me off. Why didn't you go through insurance? How can you prove it? It's like, dude, my deductible is $1,000.
You were on the news.
I was on the news. My deductible's $1,000.
Yeah.
What do you want from me? I should find that email and send it back to them. They're not bad. They do some good work in our city. Keep it clean. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, you got to be able to put up with that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got.
That's all you got? Mm-hmm. That was nice.
It's bedtime.
We just wanted to really talk about this swatting thing. So I'm going to try and post this like quick. Mm-hmm. So it's like hot in the news. Because Tim Pool got swatted.
Yeah. He got swatted because he was spoofed.
Because he was spoofed. The phone number was spoofed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. It was good. A little insight on that. I'd never heard the term before. Mm-hmm. No idea what it was.
Yeah. How come we ended up talking about you?
You asked me about myself. I hate talking about myself. Then I talked for like a half an hour. Ooh, look at me.
Yay. Let's talk about me.
Yeah, that was good. So I'm supposed to say this at the beginning. But you're supposed to...
This show has been brought to you by...
No.
The letter G.
The letter G. Show's been brought to you by the letter G and all things good. No, I'm supposed to say...
Oh, that's a good one. Know, right? That should be your
No, my
motto.
closing line was supposed to be more love, less hate.
Oh.
Good night. More love, less hate. Something
good
like
night.
That. Yeah,
that's good.
And then good night.
Go with it. Oh, now you're talking again.
Yeah, but I'm not done.
Oh,
I'm supposed to say, like, subscribe, hit the bell, do that stuff so that this podcast actually does something. What? No one's going to do it because no one's listened to an hour and 15 minutes. Nobody cares. So do that stuff.
Sweetie pie.
Like, subscribe, bell I think it's like, subscribe, bell notification. I think that's what you're supposed to do. 3 things. So the bell gives you alerts. You subscribe, so you're part.
I'm sure
my
the
channel
people,
is on your
if anyone's
feed.
listening to it, they already know.
And then the like is to like the video. So if enough people like the video, it might actually get on their suggested. Okay. Would be wonderful if it ever did.
Alrighty.
This show's exactly like Joe Rogan's.
Nighty night.
10 million viewers less. Thank you. No, this is a professional podcast. Good night.
Good night.